All right, everybody, step 2. Now that you've gone through step 1 and you've brainstormed a list of issues and you've researched and chosen the issue that you want, you need to move on to step 2. And step 2 ultimately is coming up with a list of images, words, and concepts that you want to use in your poem. The reason you're going to make this list is because a lot of times when you guys when I have students that sit down to try to write a poem, they don't know where to start. They get stuck. They don't even know what they're really writing about. So, for instance, when I wrote the poem that Ms. Valdez and I did for you guys, I brainstormed a list. And here are just an example of the images that I came up with. I always do this before I write a poem, and I do write poems. I am a dorky English teacher. And these are just some of the words that I came up with: fire, slavery, mud, swamp, hollow, dark, freedom. I thought of swamp because I thought of the South. Mud made me think of Mississippi. Slavery obviously is part of the South. Fire because a lot of people were lynched and burned during this time period. So I took the things that I knew about that event and I came up with powerful images and brainstormed them so that I could use them in the poem. And a lot of times that will help give you inspiration when you're doing that. This is why the research aspect is really important from step 1. You've got to know the details of the event. And a lot of times research, you can pull words and images out from your research. If I was doing something on the Cold War, red would be an image that I would be thinking of because of the Red Scare. I definitely would know that I would want to think of things that made me fearful. What are people afraid of? People are afraid of the dark. People are afraid of strangers. So I would come up with words that connected to those words. And one way that you can really do this is by creating a bubble diagram. Start with your main idea in the middle and create a bubble diagram to come up with all the words that you associate. Do a word association. This is going to be step 2. It is a journal that you must submit. You must brainstorm the images and words. You can do it in a Word document, which is what I recommend because you can create your bubble diagram that way. But if you decide to do it by hand because that's easier, you're just going to turn it into me that way if you'd rather write it out, okay? But it is required. All of these steps are required for you to get your points. So step 1, you researched your issue, you decided what your issue was after brainstorming a list of issues. Now you're brainstorming images, concepts, and words that you want to use within your poem. This is an essential step. You must do it. Each step of this poem process is going to get you to your final product, so it's got to be done. Good luck.